Okay, so it's time to take a look at Bitcoin price action. It's time to look at what's happened within our range. It's time to analyze our trade plans, and it's time to see what will Bitcoin do next going into this week. Now, this is the second take of this video because the first one, I think we had a bit of a technical issue with the sound. So I figured I'll just do a quick run through for those looking to actually get the latter part of that video. So what have we had so far? Just a brief overview. Yesterday we were looking at some potential trades from our range. We said we are looking for a short from the range high or long from the range low. We're in premium, so we short the range high. We're in discount, so we long the range low. But we're not looking to enter into a trade, carelessly. We're looking for clear breaking market structure, a wick up the high, and then to enter on that retracement leg to flush it down. All right, we said we were respecting this uptrend, and let's see if this uptrend can take us all the way up. Now let's have a look at what we got. What did we get? So if we go back, perhaps use a replay tool, we get back to around here. What did Bitcoin do? Well, Bitcoin had this very clear uptrend. Oh, we don't want that. Uninstall. Don't want that. We had a very clear uptrend. Higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. Higher high. Well, we thought what was going to happen is we are going to get something that maybe looks like this. High high, high low, high high, break structure, retrace, boom. All right, but that's not what happened. Instead, Bitcoin stopped here. It stopped. Why did Bitcoin stop? Well, Bitcoin stopped because we had this supply over here from that rally up that we had on Wednesday at about 2 o'clock. We had a supply over here, and Bitcoin decided, actually, do you know what? I'm going to distribute at this supply. I'm going to play around at this supply, and I'm going to see, decide what to do next. So this is what I call, untradable distribution. Why is this untradeable? Well, it's untradeable because we don't have any clear. Let's think about it. Our low, the high low, is all the way down here. To really and truly, to enter a trade, you need to see this taken. And before this is taken, the risk to reward on that trade is silly. All right. So this is untradeable for me. I won't touch that. I'll leave that. I'll let it run. But what we did have to notice, we could not have missed the fact that we had this developing trend line of liquidity. Okay, we had this liquidity building up, and we can see that price was respecting this trend line quite well. Bounce number 1, bounce number 2, bounce number 3. Okay, and what do we expect after a break of our trend line? After bounce number 3, we can see we actually break down from the trend line. Okay, so we break down for the trend line. What do we expect after a break of a trend line? We expect a retest of that trend line extreme, and that's exactly what's happened. Similar to a range break, you expect a retest. So we can see that price rallied down, and then it came back to retest that prior trend extreme before we flush down. Why did it flush down? Well, it's flushed down because you've got all this liquidity over here. All right, remember we've got buy orders here, we've got buy orders here. And these buy orders, there are lots of stop losses over here, stop loss over here, stop loss over here. They actually become the fuel that brings the price down for the sellers. Okay, they turn into sell orders essentially. All right, so that's exactly what we see there, and that's what Bitcoin has been up to. Now we were thinking, well, we didn't get that sweep of the high, the range high deflection. What did we get? Well, we look to have gotten a bounce. Well, let's just see what price does. All right, cool. Let's pause it there. We look to have gotten a bounce off of this region here. We actually, if you look clearly, if you look into lower time frames, you can see we have a little mini. Well, I will show you actually. As you can see there, we've got a tiny demand zone. See, we've got a tiny bit of demand over here. Now, again, not the greatest demand zone, but it's a demand zone nonetheless. You can see that obviously Bitcoin had this, range demand that it broke out of, and then it came back to mitigate it, of course, and it had another range demand that it broke out of. Okay, so we had sort of this cascade of range demands, okay, and it came to mitigate it, but we didn't have another one form over here. Now within this old range demand, we had an internal demand over here, and that's what we're seeing at the minute. Now, why do I say that? I say that because as Bitcoin came up, it did do so quite efficiently. It took out the prior demand, but we had this leftover demand, and that's what that's what Bitcoin came back to react from. All right, so it came back and it bounced off this demand that was left over. It's tiny demand. Now you can't see it, but it is there if you look within those bars. Okay. Now, what did it do at this demand? At this demand, it sort of distributed a bit. It kind of broke structure. So if we look at the structure down, we've got all the way down, we sweep up, we take out that low. So this would be a perfect example of a second entry. All right, we've got the first low, we take out that low, and we immediately break structure. And we break structure with quite nice follow through, okay? And what happens after the breaking structure? We look for a retracement and we ride that up. Right. So for those of you looking at the charts, clearly you probably would have seen that, and you'd have entered your long trade around here. Okay. And this would be a long scalp, but this wouldn't be a swing trade, just a tiny scalp, just to get you through the day, make sure your equity curve is looking nice and positive. All right. But that would have been an easy trade setup for you to enter, and it's clearer on the 5 minute. You can see it clearer on the 5 minute because you have the up structure. You reset the lower high, then we break that lower high and we retest. That would have been a nice trade entry. I didn't take that one, to be honest. Okay, I didn't take that one because I was waiting for these higher probability trades. Waiting for the range extremes to get run. Okay, so now what's happened here? Well, Bitcoin actually, after making that low, is decided, you know what, I'm going to range here for a bit. I've got a range low, I've got a range high, all right, and I'm going to range. You can't tell me what to do. I'll do what I want. I'm going to range, and we're going to play it like that. So just to show you what that range looks like, I'm going to show you exactly what that range looks like. We've got, this is very long. All right, let's shorten that. So we've got the range low, we've got the initial high, but then we've got the range high. So we can treat this as a range. So what do we have here? We have a range within a range. All right, it's kind of like that movie. What was it? Was it Inception? Or was it The Matrix? Oh, one of them. Someone let me know in the comments what movie it was. But anyways, we've got a range within a range. Okay, so we've got a larger range, a global range, and we've got the local range. All right. Now remember, Bitcoin is at supply. It is at supply. What do I mean by that? There are millions and millions of traders who are looking at this decisional supply zone to see, is Bitcoin going to smash through the all-time high, or is it going to, just deflect and rotate all the way down? That's what we're all looking at for. Everyone's waiting. We've got all these bull trend bars, very bull convincing trend bars, very bullish action, very quick ride up, similar to what we had over here. All right, but this is a decisional, the make or break supply zone for Bitcoin. Bear that at the back of your mind as you look at these trades. So even though we are looking on a global, scale, we're also looking at a local scale for some scalps. And this is how a range works, to be honest. You have your range low, your range high. You could get a short here that actually becomes the move, the turning point, to take Bitcoin all the way down to 30K. All right. So just take the trades as they come, but make sure you're practicing good risk management and you are waiting for your confirmations. But anyways, I digress. So we're back onto this range. Now, what did Bitcoin do after that? Well, after that, of course, some of you would have entered that long. After that, we come back close. We don't break. I would have liked to see a breaking structure here again to take out this high, but we didn't get that. But regardless, we continue up. Now we continue up. Why did we stop here? Well, we stopped here because, we've got this supply zone. We have a 45-minute supply zone. So if we look at a 45-minute, we can see our supply zone over here. What's that supply? Well, it's the last up candle before we flush down. So this is why Bitcoin has reacted at that level. So a lot of you, new to trading are thinking, well, how is this guy able to just, make sense of what's going on? Well, first of all, you have to really understand what is happening within these bars. Okay, now these bars are respecting laws of supply and demand. The whole of economics is built around supply and demand. And everything you buy is built around supply and demand. Okay, so once you understand that, you can really understand how price action moves, and you can predict with more assurance, more certainty what Bitcoin is going to do next, or any asset for that matter, be it gold, be it euros, etc., forex, whatever. Okay. So what were we saying? We're saying Bitcoin has this nice sandwich now. It's got this nice supply and demand sandwich. Okay, and we're looking to see what it does next. What would I have liked to see? So I would have liked to see, first of all, this being run all the way down. So as we took out, this trend line, I would have liked to see that get taken out at least. Okay, now that got taken out and then we swept up. That would have been a juicy trade, but it didn't happen. And it didn't happen because, well, we may be going up to retest this high. We may simply be going up to retest this high, but in order to do that, we must first take out this supply. So again, if we're taking out this supply over here, we're touching that high. Okay, if we're taking out this supply over here, we're touching that high. But there is a chance we distribute at this supply. What do I mean? There is a chance we do this. We are approaching it at the moment. There is a chance we do that. Maybe do a tap 2 and do a tap 3, break structure and drop down. There is that chance. But also there is a chance we take out this supply as we approach it now, and we react off this zone. Of course, we could break out of the zone. That's why you have to make sure that you are looking at your confirmations. All right. So now we've got this sandwich within the sandwich. We've broken. Well, it was a sandwich when I made the first video. It was a beautiful range, but it looks like we've broken out of the range. How did we break out of the range? Predictable. Well, we broke out. Well, not really a convincing break, right? Not a convincing break. Well, we did break out. All right. Let's see if we can see that on a 15-minute. Maybe more convincing on a 15. Yeah, on a 15-minute, it's more convincing. So we come down, we retrace back into the range, and we're looking to continue up. Now, where are we going? Well, I guess this trade is invalidated. Why is this invalidated? It's invalidated because we look to be breaking out of this range. We didn't wick the range high and change structure. Instead, we broke out. So I guess we can get rid of that for now. Okay, we seem to be looking to retest this supply zone. Now, watch carefully as we check this supply zone. Are we going to get a distribution here, or are we going to continue? It does look like we've got some quite nice bullish action taking place. Okay, so we have to keep an eye on that. Now, we've also got this range low that we were looking at. And why we were looking at this range low? Well, this range low gave us a high confluence zone. What do I mean by that? If you take out your fixed range tool and you pull a fixed range from the high for the whole range, we can see that this has changed slightly because obviously price action has developed. But as of here, when I shot the first video, I think we're around here actually, we can see, yes, this works. This looks kind of okay. We can see that we had our range high coming in at the value area high of our fixed range, and we had our range low coming at the value area low of the fixed range. And not only that, if you wanted added confluence, take out your fib from the low to the high. Okay, we can see that this range low was also coming at our golden ratio level. Okay, so again, this is a very juicy area. This is an area with a lot of confidence. But as we look to be breaking out on the high side of things, it looks like we're not coming back to retest this. Still could, of course, because price does what it wants. You can't tell it what to do. We could still rotate down, perhaps take this high, rotate down, and then go up. But for now, we're probably not going to look at this idea until probably around Saturday morning. So what have we got in store for us? Well, we were looking at our short trade up here, and we were looking for our long trade all the way down here. All right. But for now, I think the short trades are probably more probable. Okay, but of course we have to break this supply first, so keep your eyes peeled. So what I'm going to do is obviously, keep an eye on that level. What am I looking to see? As price approaches that level, if it breaks through the supply, I want to see a clear break in market structure as we approach that level, and I'm looking to enter my short on that retracement leg. A break in structure would be there. Okay, and what would market cipher be doing? Market cipher would be printing a nice bearish divergence. What is that? As price is going up, our momentum wave is going down. Market cipher seems to have disappeared. Study script. It seems to have disappeared at the moment. So we're going to stream without it today. But anyways, market cipher, we should be seeing a bearish divergence. So we're looking out for this level for our next short. Our long in discount stays the same as yesterday, all right? But what do we need to be cautious of? What do we need to pay attention? You cannot, will not ignore this trend line of liquidity over here. You know, so we've got more liquidity building up on the upside. This is bull liquidity, not liquidity. This bull liquidity building up. Okay, what do we know about liquidity? Especially when we've got a beautiful juicy trend line like this, we know it gets run. Similar to how it got run, you know, halfway over here, it could also get run. So could we be doing something like this? Could we be building up, making high highs all the way up to the top? Yeah, kind of looks like an ascending triangle, doesn't it? Okay, for all you retail candle chart patterns triangle enthusiasts, all right? So this looks like a nice ascending triangle, but we're looking to see where it breaks. Does Bitcoin accumulate and say, actually, do you know what? I'm going to shoot up. I've got the juice to shoot up. Or does it say, well, I've built all this liquidity. We've got all these stop losses. I'm going to shoot down. How are we going to know? We're going to know by looking at market structure on the way up, as we've just mentioned. All right, remember, we are at supply. We're at this decision of supply. So it's decision time for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is to decide what's it doing. Is it breaking through its all-time high? Or is it dropping down to that 30,000 level? No, I'm joking. Is it dropping down at least to test these old demand ranges at least? All right. So that's what Bitcoin is doing at the moment, and that's what it's been up to over the last 24 hours. So what we're going to do, we're going to set our short up there. See, we look to be reacting from this zone. As we said, this is a key level. We look to be reacting off the zone. And in the case that we are going to react and we're going to rotate back down again, because what do ranges do? Ranges rotate from the top to bottom. They simply oscillate, kind of like a sine wave. If you've got your sine wave or your cos wave, they just do that, don't they? So ranges oscillate. Okay, so if we are to rotate down, we're looking for a change in market structure on this decisional leg over here. We can see clearly on the 5 minute. So we would want to see something that looks like this. So as we've made this high, low, high, low, high, we need to take out this low to be able to enter this trade. In the case we make another high, low, then take that original point out and break structure, that will be beautiful. I look to enter on a retracement and ride that down to the range low, that internal range low. Now, this range is kind of deceiving. It's a deceiving range, deceptive range, this one. Why is it deceptive? It's deceptive because when you zoom out and look at this range, we've got two ranges, of course, range within a range. You might think, well, this is a narrow range. I'm not going to bother with this range sandwich. I'm not going to touch any trade here because it's not a big range, a big enough of a range for me to trade. Well, that's until you take out your measurement tool and you see that it's actually a $2,600 range. It's a 4% range, all right? So it's definitely a tradable range, in my opinion. So it's definitely one to watch out for. So definitely keep an eye on that. What I'm going to do is put a short trade there. I'm going to look out for that. We're currently at that level, so you should have your eyes peeled, looking for that level. So in the case, we may get trade number 1 play out, take us down, have the high confluence zone. Trade number 2, rotate, take us up. The trade number 3 takes us down. The trade number 4, and then boom. That would be beautiful, wouldn't it? All right, but for each and every one of these levels, remember guys, we're looking for clear market structure change and we're looking to follow our confirmation, all right? So I don't usually trade on weekends, so I'm gonna probably shut my laptop now and go and relax and spend time with the family. But until then, I will see you, and I will most definitely be seeing you on Monday. So if you want some more recent updates, if you want to stay in tune to what the market is doing, and you want to trade these markets with me, don't forget to hit that follow button, and I will see you on Monday.